What's up, you guys? James Strickland here. Welcome to week 5 on my road to 2,100 pounds and my continuation on my road to 700 pounds on bench press. This week we have on tap 600 for 2 and then 600 for a double on bench. This is actually my last warm-up. I like to watch my last warm-up just to make sure everything is on par, and I want to show this to you guys just to make sure the speed is there. This is 575. Looking good. Move it on. We're going to go for 600 for 2 today. This is not a PR, but I have done this probably 3 times in training. This is typical. Sometimes it's 600 for 2, sometimes it's 605 for 2, and this is normally done a lot closer to the meet. So doing it 8 weeks out from my June 2nd meet at the American Fitness Expo USPA meet is a good sign. This is definitely leaving room for doubling well up into the 640s, 650s before we start singling out. So, pause. And this is obviously a self lift off. I typically will do that up to about 600. Going forward, you will probably see a lot more lift offs just to get used to that for the meet. This is a drop set of paused speed bench, and this is 525 3x3. Working really on pausing and exploding the weight. This is to add a little more volume in, and also to get used to moving the weight with intent, regardless of how much it weighs. For me, 525 is not very heavy at all. I do treat it with respect, don't get me wrong, but my intent is to throw this weight through the roof. Which is exactly why you see most of my meat PRs coming off my chest very fast. The point of this is to teach the muscles the memory that they need, the muscle memory, to blast the weight every single time. You do not want to be in a grinding situation with 700 pounds on your chest. So that is the point of these. But feeling very, very good this week. Last week was a deload. Everything did feel heavy, felt slow, with 145 pounds more than this week, or less than this week, sorry. So I definitely am glad to come off of a deload and put up some heavier weight. Definitely needed that rest. This is the inverted rows, and this is 13 reps and 6 sets. This is actually pretty difficult. My lats are on fire with these. It's basically very similar to a pull-up, obviously not as much weight. And my back is already fried from the bench set, so this is a finisher. This definitely hits the back in a way that I don't hit it with rows, and I don't hit it with lat pull-downs. So this is definitely a good thing we've added into this training cycle. I don't enjoy them, so I'll tell you that much, but it is definitely, I can tell that it's helping with my explosion. It's definitely helping with my rows, and my rows help with my bench. So that's the whole point, at least for the bench part of the total. Getting plenty of rest this week, as always, at least 7 to 9 hours a night. If I can get more, I will. I do have a schedule that allows me to sleep and take naps if necessary. That is a good thing to have. That's a decision that I made a long time ago with starting a business so that I could make my own schedule for a sport that was long before powerlifting, but it still carries on the benefits to today. So moving on, we have dips, and these are RPE targeted. So this is for an RPE 6, and I went ahead and put on 96 pounds, and that's just 90 pounds plus the 6 pounds on the Rogue loading bar and chain. And moving on for a second set of 6, and this is 166, so 345s at 25, I believe, and the Rogue pin. Working on an RPE 7, meaning I have definitely some reps left in the tank. I probably could have done 10 to 15 of these. Pausing at the top to get some extra tricep work there. And decided, obviously the last one is an RPE 8, so it is not a max. It is not going to failure. I want to have a few reps in the tank. So this is 211 pounds. I've done well over this, but of course those were for RPE 9s and RPE 10s. Definitely closer to the meet. I'm not quite at the point where I want to tax the triceps. So I shake a lot on these, so if you guys shake on weighted dips or really any exercise, it's not a sign of weakness. Sometimes I'll shake with 100 pounds, sometimes I'll shake with body weight, sometimes I'll shake with 300 pounds, and sometimes I just don't shake at all. It really just depends. I'm not quite I don't understand the scientific reasons behind it, but I can tell you one thing: it's not a bad thing or a good thing. It's neutral. So these are lying cable flies. Tried the first set with 80 pounds. These are also RP targeted on the floor. Didn't feel like I was getting a good stretch with the setup, so I went ahead and put it up on a bench. And the weight is 80 pounds for the first set of 12, 100 pounds for the second set of 12, and last set here is 110 pounds each hand. And this is an RPE 8, meaning I could have done probably 4 to 5 reps more, maybe a little more than that. And this is the last set here for the day, and this is tricep rope, and it's 140 pounds, 3 sets. First set is 12, second set is 10, and the last set was for a maximum number of reps that I could get. This was or the last set anyways, was for to failure, and I got 9 reps on that. So feeling very good about this particular day. Each day is its own battle. Each rep really is meant to build a certain part of my training regimen. So this obviously is all bench related. My squat and deadlift are feeling very good. We'll move on to those here in a minute. But every day is a new battle. I am not focused on squat or deadlift on my bench days. And I say days because I do have another day later in the week where I do bench accessories, which includes back and shoulders, some more triceps. So moving on here to squats, and this is actually, the bench day was on Monday like normal. This was done on Wednesday, so I get an extra day of rest on Tuesdays, and I don't do anything. Warmed up to about 6:35 for one, and my top set here is actually a gym PR, and it is 665. I actually have not gone over 601 in a official 3-lift total meet. So I am very excited to put together a new total with new squat, and the way that this looked, I was actually pretty hesitant about this because 665 on that feels very heavy until I drop it down into the squat. And when I'm in the hole, obviously depth was very good there. I could have definitely done a double. Obviously, vocalizing it there, I was not going to go and do a double. I did not want to go off my training. But knowing that I could have probably gotten even 3 tells me that my strength level is well over 7 right now. So I am going to be adjusting going forward. Just before I stop here, these are some back down sets. These are 530 for 2, 3 sets. And this is addition to the top set. This is to get some more volume in, working on speed here, and working on getting out of the hole. So I am definitely going to be analyzing training going forward, talking with my coach, and figuring out the best course of action to add a little bit more weight as we go forward with squats and deadlifts to bump this total up a little bit more in a smart way. I'll be the first to say if I don't think something's going to happen, and I've never been one to over-exaggerate or overextend myself on what I think I'm capable of. I'm actually the opposite. I typically worry a little bit, make sure that I'm being smart about things and attempts. So this is Olympic paused squats with 440 pounds. It's actually supposed to be 430. I didn't calculate for the squat bar extra 10 pounds here. And these are basically just a closer stance and paused. Definitely high bar, which I'm already doing with my regular squats. But so back to attempt selections for the meet. I definitely want 2100 total. The numbers that I am actually looking at hitting are going to put me well over that, and that's to be conservative, which is very humbling. I believe that the squat, which is the one I'm actually most nervous about, or was, is going to be well over 705. It may be closer to 733 or even 744. Looking at bench, obviously it's 705 plus, and then going for 755 plus on deadlift. These are overhand deadlift holds, and this is just working on grip strength. This is 380 pounds, 2 sets for 15 seconds each. And this really does help in the middle of the week to make sure that the calluses are built up and that the grip strength in the forearms is there. Moving on to body weight plus a 5-pound, plus or minus maybe 10-pound chain for 3 sets of 6. These are actually working a weakness of mine, which is hamstrings, and this is the one limiting factor that I think the deadlift is being held back by. So we're making sure to hammer these hamstrings. You'll see that I hit them a little bit later in the week as well. But these GHRs really do hit those hamstrings directly, hit that posterior chain, and they will increase your deadlift if that is where you're weak. So that will pretty much wrap it up for day 2. My day 3 is actually done the very next day on a Thursday. Finish up the last set here. And this is at Dub's Barbell. Very graciously hosted my workout this particular day. He's in Spring, Texas. Okay, so for day 3, we got shoulders and upper accessories. Starting off with a good superset here, and this is front raise, lateral raise, and bent over flies. This is just with 20 pounds. Each set in this particular superset is 14 reps each, and these are really good for hitting pretty much every head of that delt. I actually took a slight break here because of the burn, but that's mostly not due to the muscle fatigue. I don't mind that, but I definitely don't want my shoulders burning to the point where they're painful. I did have some slight issues last week that I wouldn't say I'm dealing with because it's not serious, but my tricep head is bothering me a little bit. I've been icing it and massaging it. Probably just I wouldn't want to go as far as saying strain, but definitely paying attention to it and making sure that I'm massaging it, icing it. If I need to stretch it, it feels good. But I do stay very much in tune with my body, and that's why one of the many reasons why that I stay injury free. And if anything, it's small tweaks here and there. They don't set me back very long. I do not overreach in training. You will not see me going crazy or an ego lift at this point in time. There's no reason to. I'd rather put up a total on meet day. I could very easily do probably 60 pounds with this particular set, but it's not going to benefit what I'm trying to do and accomplish. So it's not about every single set going as heavy as possible. It's about every single set serving a purpose for the greater good, and every single rep in that case. In fact, I made an Instagram post. In fact, if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, it's at SwimHack. But just the other day I made a post about every single rep meaning something when you're building a pyramid. If one of those bricks or quote-unquote reps is not in place, if you have enough of those that are out of place, you're going to have a very unstable pyramid, and it's not going to be good. So if you think about your training in terms of that being important, every single rep, every single day, you will be okay. So moving on here, this is the standing one arm rear delt cable flies. I went ahead and just did the whole set. It was actually supposed to be 90 seconds rest in between. It's 30 pounds, 3 sets of 12. I just went ahead and did all of them at one time. I was feeling really good this day, and there was no benefit to getting the 96 rest in between each set. These are fairly light. if these would have been burning at all or building up lactic acid in a major way, the rest would have definitely been warranted. Also, I was a little bit in a hurry to go ahead and wrap up the workout, and I knew I only had a couple more sets to do, so I went ahead and made a judgment call. If this would have been 60 or 70 pounds, I definitely would have taken advantage of that minute and a half rest. And this is, many of you ask which gyms I go to. My preferred gym is Woodland Strength and Conditioning in Spring, Texas, up near the Woodlands, North Houston. This is Fitness Connection in Katy, and it's very close to home, so it's definitely convenient. They have most of the stuff that I need just to get my accessory work done. Obviously, I've done some very heavy work in this gym. The bars, I wouldn't say they are powerlifting quality, but for the weight that I've been handling recently, they can definitely handle that. As we get closer to the meet, though, I will be getting on specialty bars, obviously squat bars earlier this week you saw, and deadlift bars at the end of the week, and slowly but surely getting my lift off in for bench sets. And moving on to close grip push-ups, I've got 9 sets of 23 reps. Went ahead and showed the first one here at regular normal speed, and just to speed things up, went ahead and blasted through the next few sets. But these are great for getting not only a chest pump, but working on some additional reps to get the triceps burning and the chest burning a little bit. These definitely help with explosion, which is something that we're definitely going for on the bench, especially with the speed reps. Also contributing. And last but not least, we have seated rows. This is starting with 220 for the first set of 12. There's 3 sets. The second set is 235, and the last set is 250 pounds. These were all very easy. I definitely did not want to make these an RPE 10. The weight prescribed for these was actually 210. I bumped these up quite a bit. Of course, every gym does have a different set of pulleys, and sometimes you think you may be pulling 200 pounds worth of weight, and it may not actually be that much. In fact, you may even have 2 different types of pulley sets on the same machine. If you look slightly up to the left, there's a tricep pull down rope, and that actually is different from the one on the right side, considerably heavier. Okay, moving on to the last day. This is day 4, and actually I did this on the Saturday because of some schedule conflicts. So I got a little extra rest before this particular day, but I also have to consider my next Monday, potentially Monday, moving it to Tuesday for bench, and managing fatigue over the weekend, because I normally get my last workout for deadlifts on a Friday. So I have Saturday, Sunday, and then I come in on Monday for my bench day. So starting off, we're actually getting some more squat sets in, and this is serving more as a warm-up, and we're using the safety bar to save some wear and tear on the elbows and the shoulders. And this is 365, and this is basically 5 sets of 1, and I went ahead and just took a little extra break at the top versus racking it. It's very light, so pausing each one of these, exploding out of the hole. This really does help to get the legs warm and help drive off the ground when it comes to deadlift. In fact, I can go ahead and start warming up with 315 on deadlift after those. My coach did throw in some box jumps, which I do enjoy. The first set here was 30, actually it's supposed to be 32. I couldn't find a 32 box, so these are just 30-inch box jumps, 5 sets of 1. And decided that these were extremely easy. I do have well over a 38-inch vertical jump when I was trying out for NFL Combines back in 2010. So I went ahead and started doing some 42-inch box jumps. Figured I'd get a little more work in with these. And so I did 5 sets of 1 on these. Just getting up there, coming back down, but exploding on every single rep. These felt good. I haven't done these in a long time. But good warm up for your squat sets, for your deadlift. Anything that's doing with legs, it's also a good drop set, just using your body weight and exploding up. Be sure to be careful when you choose attempts. Don't want anybody hurting themselves. You definitely want to start off with maybe a 2 foot, 24 inch, and then maybe 36, and kind of work your way up from there. All right, so moving on. I like to fill my warm-up sets. This is just a 495 warm-up. Just wanted to check form and make sure that I'm firing off, exploding right. So that was 495 warm-up. Last warm-up here is 575. And this particular day, working up to 3 sets of 3 on 600. So that felt good. Feel very confident. First set here, 600. Having some grip issues. And so you'll see me reset quite a bit here, and just making sure that I'm not tearing any calluses. I don't want to be set back in that way. But also, whenever I do reps, my grip typically tends to want to give out, and also I do reset my grip on every rep. It's just easier for me. But do not have a grip problem on, or at least I didn't, on 710 a couple weeks back. So feel confident that won't be a problem on meet day. We're actually working on grip, as you saw earlier in the week, with the deadlift holds, and I do some more work with some plates you'll see at the end of this workout, just to make sure that my forearm, my finger strength, and my grip strength is all taken care of before it becomes an issue. The last thing I want to do is get to the meet and then potentially be deadlifting 750 to 800 pounds and then have it slip at the very last second because of a grip issue. So we're already focusing on that so that it is not going to be a problem. So this is the last set of 600. The weight itself feels very, very easy. It obviously feels like 600 pounds. But 600 has never moved this fast for me. This is 3 sets of 3, which after doing 700 does feel light. But like I said, the grip was the limiting factor on the reps. We're not going to be doing very many of the triples. We're going to be working up to doubles and singles very soon here. So it's just a matter of holding out, just keeping everything together and the grip together. I will say though that my fatigue management this week has been spot on. Got enough rest every night. I got enough food in my system. My weight is consistently staying right around the high 280s. I am definitely getting a couple meals in before my workouts, typically working out midday. Moving on here, this is bent over rows with 345 pounds. I did went ahead and strapped up for these just to save the grip. There's no reason to limit anything for this. This was 3 sets of 5, and the first 2 sets I went ahead and kept the belt on. Of course, the back pump was pretty crazy from everything earlier. I went ahead and took the belt off on this last set just to work that posterior chain a little bit and work on some core strength. Very easy. All right, so moving on, I've got pull-throughs, and this is an RPE-based set, meaning I'm targeting a 6, a 7, and an 8 for the 3 sets of 12. First set was 135 pounds, and these work a lot on the hamstrings. This is a secondary exercise. In addition to the GHRs that I was doing on squat day, these do hammer the hamstrings. I'm actually doing this voiceover on Saturday night. Did these this morning, and my hamstrings are on fire right now, so I know this is working. Second set on this was 165, and the last set was 195. Felt very, very good. So fatigue management is my main goal. Obviously finishing sets and hitting some PRs in training is very exciting, but unless I can put it all together on meet day and feel healthy and 100% for meet day, that is one thing that I can definitely control. I don't want that to be any kind of limiting factor. I want to go into meet day with every T crossed and every I dotted. And at this point in training, I can definitely say that unless there's something crazy that happens, there's no reason why meet day shouldn't be a huge PR. But I'm a realist. Things happen. I am playing it smart. I'm not going to get too crazy with anything. I'm not going to make any bad choices. Definitely not going to change anything up this late in the training cycle. Moving on here, I've got the Cobra lat pull downs, and this is 140 pounds, 3 sets of 12. Working on getting a good squeeze here, a good stretch at the top. These will light your lats up. I actually feel these a lot more than any other lat pull down exercise because they're isolated. And if you hit them at the right angle, you will actually hit that full lat all the way down. And you'll actually, by the third set of these, I was definitely on fire. The first 2 sets were like an RPE 6. By the last set, last probably 2 or 3 reps of each on the last set, I was definitely feeling it at about an RPE 10. That just shows the fatigue of the week. Last day of the week of workout is always very fatiguing. In the background here, I've got Jeff Yonker. He is one of the premier powerlifters in the nation. Currently ranked number 4 in the 308 weight class. He is going to be also competing with me at the American Fitness Expo. He has currently got a 2,066 total. I have been chasing Jeff's number for a long time. Not that I've been a full powerlifter necessarily, but he totaled 2,000 a couple years back, and while I was still doing bench only. So I just looked up and admired his squat numbers and deadlift numbers, and it's humbling to know that I am closing in on not only putting up a 2,000 total, but considerably more than that, possibly about the 2,200 range here in the next couple of months. So it will be very fun, not only to compete with a guy who lifts off for me more than 700 pounds, but that also can squat almost 800 and also deadlift 800. So that will be an honor to compete with him. But so this is moving on to the last set here of the Cobra lat pull downs. I do have some things on here that I did not film just due to some camera issues, but they're seated hammer curls, and that's just to hit the biceps a little bit. I know you guys don't see me hitting biceps a lot, and I assure you that I do hit them, but they're not a primary exercise. They're not a primary mover. They're more of a stabilizer, and I don't like to hit biceps before deadlifts just because I don't want them fatigued at all, and I don't want them working during the deadlifts due to obvious reasons with bicep tears and things like that. I want them pretty fresh on deadlift day. So these are my static holds. These are what I was talking about with grip. First one is with 5 pounds in each hand, and this is between the thumb and the pinky. And these will actually hit that forearm quite a bit. Not only the finger strength, but these will help if your pinkies are the culprit for the bar slip. Those will typically be the first fingers that slip off. And so I've got 2 sets of this, and then actually I didn't film the second set. This is the first set of 2 with a ring finger, and this is 10 pounds each hand. This is 20 seconds each hold, and 2 sets of this. And this you'll see by the end start kind of cringing a little bit. I'm feeling it a lot in the forearms, but this specific exercise helps with the grip strength, not to mention static holds and doing the actual lift themselves. So these are some things that I've been working on with grip. So you are only as good as your weakest link, and at this point I feel like my grip is my weakest link, and so I'm definitely wanting to make sure that is taken care of before it becomes an issue. And the last set here of the week is 45-pound landmines, 3 sets of 6. These work on your core strength, your obliques. These also get a good stretch in the shoulders and lats, so you can kind of get a twofer on this. But these felt really good. I was happy that the workout week was pretty much over. At this point, I am thinking about what I need to do to rest up and be ready for either a Monday or a Tuesday bench workout. Looking to do about 610 to 620 for a double on bench. We may go heavy on squat next week, and maybe in the 675 to 680 range. We may actually back it down to more of a 600 3x3, and maybe our deadlifts will go up. We'll decide that this weekend, and obviously you guys will find out what we have next week. But the main objective is to maintain fatigue management and make sure that everything is on par for the meet. But that just about wraps it up for week 5, and I definitely appreciate every one of you tuning in. I'm sure the next time that you guys see this, I'll be at 4,000 subscribers. But I appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram at SwimHack. See you guys in the gym. See ya.